right, welcome back, Bulldog fans, to this week's episode of Bulldog Blitz. I'm Heath Conaway, sitting alongside head coach Aaron Bidewell and co-host Paul Davidson. Do a little recap of last week's game against Scott City Chaffee, and then do a quick recap of what we're going to do against Charleston. I'll hand it over to Mr. Davidson, who will give us a recap outline of last week's game against Scott City.
Or that we call them the Scott Chaffee Ram Devils.
The Ram Devils, yes.
The game started off with both teams putting up some fruitless drives apiece. So we had Scott City had the ball, they didn't get anything. We had the ball, we didn't really get anything. And scoring really starts to unleash when Scott City rips off a 60-yard touchdown run from Underwood to put them up 7-0. That was a very impressive run. Me and you on there were even talking about
he threaded that seam and just he vision.
He had good field vision when he was running that touchdown. But luckily for us, Portageville answers quickly with a 55-yard touchdown of their own from Antonio Deuce-Stickenbottom that cuts the score to 7-6. By the way, Coach, I love the fullback dives you were mixing in there earlier in that series. Anytime you can give the ball to the fullback, it just warms the heart. Then we had the player that's going to be on the broadcast here tonight, Maxie. He got a big guy, a fat guy interception. The defensive lineman got the INT that gave Portageville the ball back. But Portageville quickly gave it back with Parker Babb throwing in that interception himself. Scott City then scores a 24-yard touchdown pass to make the game 14-6. We have this new formation, and it looks similar to our heavy package that we used in the past, but we have an additional man in the back. What do y'all kind of call that?
That's our diamond package.
Your diamond package. So we were running heavy with the diamond package this week, and that allowed us to get a 5-yard touchdown run from Parker Babb to make it a 14-14 ball game. We force the fumble and get the fumble recovery, and we have a chance to go up into halftime to win the middle late, but we ended up kind of wasting it away with 40 seconds remaining. Scott City scores really quickly to make it a 21-14 game going into half.
In 7 seconds.
In 7 seconds.
In 7 seconds, they scored.
First drive, we stalled in the red zone, so we had good ball movement. We got to the red zone, we just couldn't punch it in. Scott City's Underwood flips the field and ends up scoring a 15-yard touchdown to make it a 28-14 game. Deuce answers again. Deuce was running with he was running not like how I normally seen him in the past.
Absolutely.
He normally is a back that needs space in order to make a lot of things happen. This time, he was willing to be cutting a little bit closer. He was really running off the hip of his running backs, and I was really happy with how I saw him do that on both of his touchdown runs. And as I was saying, Deuce answered with a 46-yard touchdown to make it a 28-22 ball game. We had good momentum. We had the chance to win the ball game. We were going.
Yeah, we had that.
Break it down.
Yeah, we had a 16-yard, a 12-yard, a 10-yard run, all from Babb with that diamond package. It was heavily working, and we were marched across midfield. We went like one more time with that, I think, just to kind of see if we had the momentum. 5 yards, and the ball got stripped. So momentum got killed right there, and that was, I think, pretty much that was the end of the game.
But it wasn't all for naught. We did have Scott City in a 4th and short, but they did convert it, and that was officially the ball game. So you mentioned how you don't want to be playing your best football at the end of the season, Coach. We do see us.
You do want to be.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to be playing your best football at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And then you want to be playing your best at the end of the year. We do seem to be improving week over week. The question I have for you is, how do you go about keeping the players bought into the process? Because we are getting closer, we are getting better and better. It's just we haven't hit that pay dirt just yet.
I think it starts with the character of your kids. If we didn't have, we talk about this a lot. If we didn't have good character kids, this would have been a disaster week for practice, because a more insecure group, a more selfish group, a more less determined group would probably had a bad couple of days. Instead, we've had awful weather, but our kids were out there ready to work, and actually we had a fantastic day today. I thought 2 guys that are coming on, I think they'll echo that. I thought it was a great day. We are stringing together a series of good practices, and I think that's a good sign. I think it's a good sign that anytime that you can do that, anytime that you have character, your kids have the character to progress in that area. Right. I think that gives yourself a chance to win. So we do want to be playing our best at the end. We do. I've seen 7-0 teams go home first or second round of districts. I had a coach that I have a lot of confidence in, the guy that's mentors me and on the phone a lot of times, gives me a lot of good advice. And he said, just remember, I've seen 0-6 teams and 0-5 teams win district championships. So if our kids weren't our kids, I'd be nervous right now. I'd be thinking, okay, where are we at mentality wise? Being 1-3, I think it's it's not where we wanted to start the year record wise, but I really like their mentality right now. There's from the start of the season, I've been, there's some kids that are just maturing and physically and mentally. And so I think that gives us a chance.
All right. Speaking of those kids that are maturing, let's bring them on down. Welcome to the Bulldog Blitz, Mr. Jacques Bell, as I like to call him, and Maximiliano Ordaz. Come on in, guys. Come on in. All right. So, will each of you please say your name, your position, and your grade for us?
My name is Charlie Bell, and I play receiver and corner. I'm a junior.
My name is Master Dad. I play right tackle and DN. I'm junior.
All right. So speaking of your positions, you don't have to tell us about both positions, but pick one of your positions. What's the thing you like the most about playing that specific position out on the football field?
I like playing corner because I can guard some of the best receivers and get different looks at other receivers.
All right. In fact, Coach Aaron was actually giving you some props as a DB right before you came in. He got off the phone with you. He's like, I'm really happy with how Jack's been developing as a defensive back, and I'm really proud of how he's developed. So, Maxie, same question for you.
I like playing DN because you don't think you should go in there.
You don't think, you just go. Hey, that's a true alignment right there. That's a true alignment. I love that. I love that.
What's been your favorite game or moment on the field so far this year?
Let's say, I guess A-Talk, because I did one deep pass back. Other than that, I feel like I played a good defensive game and shut down some main key receivers, whatever.
Maxie?
I'll get the tape.
That's once again a true lineman. You never get the ball. It's very rare, and so it's like you're the Chris Farley joke. You're excited because you got a brand new toy.
Coach, what about you? What's your favorite game or moment on the field so far as a head coach?
That's a great question. I would say, honestly, these last couple weeks of practice, I would say that's, and I know that's not what they want to hear, but, when I was in their shoes, it was games, but, you just, I would say the last couple weeks of practice, because I've seen a turn, I've seen a switch, and I've seen an excitement, and I've seen we can do this type of mentality, in them. And so it starts with guys like this, it starts with, these two guys and some of the other leaders on our team. They're just making sure that we're pulling each other along. So even when somebody's having a bad day, they make sure that we don't let it linger, and so I would say the last 5 days of practice has been my favorite day so far.
And I'll say this as an old head that whenever I played with both of y'all, yes, the games are fun and whatnot, but the majority of my memories from playing football were actually back there on the practice field, and not over there on Big Reeds.
I do remember playing in the Swamp Bowl one time.
Yeah, we've had some great memories already. We keep saying that there's, the fruits of their labor are going to show, and if they didn't have the character that they would, that probably would be true. But I really feel like some great things are going to happen because of how they've been working.
Guys, if you had to give somebody on the team player of the week for last week for how they played against Scott City, who would that player probably be?
CJ.
Say why specifically CJ?
Tackles.
He played a game that he didn't have to play, so he showed that he was the team and everything.
And he played probably the best game that he's played so far in his short career because he's just a sophomore and he led the team in tackles and put up an excellent effort. Despite everything that was going on in his life. Our prayers and thoughts go out to you,
Absolutely.
CJ. He was supposed to be here tonight on this particular episode, but circumstances are understandable, and he will be on the show next week. We are going to guarantee that he's on the show next week.
Unanimous vote.
He's honestly been I think he was one of our players that I just didn't give enough credit. And so it was one of those things where we look up one day and then we're just noticing the way he's practicing, and then all of a sudden put him out there, and we're like, oh man, this kid can play, and so
He made some great stops.
He did.
He stopped
big fourth
Underwood.
down,
Yeah.
big fourth down at the end of the first drive to give us a chance to.
Yeah.
And that last drive, that was him and a few of our other guys that were on that tackle. So there's a lot of potential there, and he works extremely hard in the weight room. So about like a lot of our guys right now. He's just in the mix of a group that's working hard.
So it reminds me a lot of something that Coach McKay once said. I remember in the weight room there, he said, there's always going to be those players that disappoint you, but luckily enough, there's always those players who step up big and surprise you when you weren't expecting it. And it sounds like CJ really has been stepping up and being one of those surprise players.
Good.
All right, and I think that's the last of our questions. Y'all need shout-outs for anybody? Like, give a shout out. You want to give hey, what's up to anybody out there watching on the YouTubes and the Facebooks?
Jackson Harper.
You want to give a shout out to second week in a row, Jackson Harper makes the Bulldog Blitz. Jack?
He on Jackson, so I'm gonna say Cole.
Oh, you got to have the problem and the solution. You got to have both.
Yeah.
All right.
No, we have a it's an enjoyable rival that they got going on. So a lot of people are Team Jackson, others are Team Cole. So it's a
we got some
friendly
shirts in the
competition.
future coming out.
I don't
so-
know about that, but they're part of a good group too. They our young guys are having success, and those two guys are part of that. So there's future looks bright with them for sure. And then these guys also being not their last go around. And so but I don't want to interrupt anything you guys got to say. But we're just ready to be home. I mean,
Yeah,
Oh,
that's-
you guys know, trust us. We are also ready.
We've been ready.
Our kids are just they're fired up to be here.
And we've got a lot of things going on this week, so it's
It's senior night. We got the
Hall of Fame
Hall of
ceremony.
Fame ceremony, a lot of stuff going on.
Yep.
So the team that we are hosting this week for
Yep.
all of those things is the Charleston Blue Jays. Last year, Portageville went to Charleston and lost 12-34 in the hurricane conditions.
The team, and we went to Charleston, but I don't think many fans went due to like I said, the hurricane conditions.
I think I said at the kickoff of the broadcast, I think this is the first time I've ever seen more people inside of the press
There
box
was with
than
us.
out in the stands.
Yep, it sure was.
But this season, Charleston's not looking too bad. They're 3-1 on the season. They started off their season with a 22-12 victory over Kelly. Then they lost to Potosi 39-8. They ended up beating Malden 48-14. And then just last week they took on Ballard Memorial in Kentucky and won that game 40-7. And apparently in that game
I'm
they
seeing that.
compiled 14 sacks, which not last year because of the hurricane conditions, but I remember 2 years ago their defensive line was kind of one of their bigger shining moments. So it does not surprise me that that group continues to look good there at Charleston. Another thing to mention about Charleston, Coach Rayfield, who was the coach here last year, is now at Charleston, I believe, as their defensive coordinator. And Charleston is currently second in the district, just barely behind Saxony Lutheran. So this is a district game. This will go a long way in kind of helping decide those district standings. So a lot on the line, but we're at home. We're excited, and it's going to be a good one. Coach, what do you have to say about the Charleston Blue Jays?
We'll watch quite a bit of film and try to pick up as much as we can. They've got some kids that they want to get the ball to, just like we do, and pretty aggressive how they blitz. We've kind of tried to watch that and see as much as they can on that. Have a couple safeties that come off the edge and feel hard. So it's going to be on the offensive side of things. Coach Kirby, who's on the staff over there, his son is the quarterback. Good athlete. He's a competitor, so good arm. So we just kind of are trying to game plan as much as we can, and make sure that we're ready for the challenge. I know our kids are excited, and I go back to this. It's good to be home. It's good to be here, and our kids are they're ready to defend their house. So and we're gonna try our best to make sure we're as prepared as possible and give it our shot.
All right, so make sure to tune in to us this Friday. We'll be on air about 6:50-ish to bring you the pregame stuff. 7 o'clock is kickoff. We'll make sure to give you a recap of everything that happens at the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Will that be
senior night.
before?
The
or is
senior night is before. I think Hall of Fame is at halftime. So
Okay,
actually,
good.
the
We
Hall of
might
Fame
have
will be
this.
happening while I blab on. I'll see if Trover can give me a copy of the script so that way I can fill you all in as
That's right. Yeah.
because you can't hear Scott Norman talk while I'm talking. So.
And it's a great,
Nice.
it's gonna be a great night. We appreciate everybody that's put that together. It's, you grow up as a kid and you're watching Red Drake play ball, and it's exciting. And several, I don't want to leave anybody out. Coach Atwell's a legend around here. You grew up watching him walk around with that stick and overalls and swinging at you in hallways and knowing, how the type of offensive line coach he was, and the respect that he got from all his players. And the whole list is you grow up as a kid. I was a manager on those state championship teams, drinking water on the bench. So there was a lot of memories there. So it's just going to be enjoyable to have those. A lot of my old buddies are coming to, root on a lot of those people. And
So we're expecting Pakistans and
I'm hoping so.
Good.
And that's I think our kids deserve that, and they're ready.
Yeah.
They're ready to play for their home team.
we need a home game. We need a good home
Yeah.
win too.
Because the dog pound is hungry.
Yeah, good.
Yep.
All right, so tune in to us Friday about 10 minutes before kickoff. We'll be live on YouTube, on our Facebook page, and Twitter, I think so. And then for all the OGs out there, 1050 AM, 1039 FM, TuneNet radio dial.
Sports Radio KMIS app, and I believe sportsradiokmis.com is another way.
That's,
that you
yeah,
can
online.
So we're worldwide, so send it
That's right.
to everybody that you possibly can.
17 years in, Mr. Davidson, going
Yeah.
strong.
So
All right. But yeah, so tune in to us just 10 minutes before the game this Friday night. I'm Heath Conaway alongside Paul Davidson and Coach Aaron Bidewell, Max Ordaz, and Jack Bell.
And you've been listening to the
That's right. This is the Bulldog Blitz.
Sports Radio KMIS.